Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently about, I think when I looked at the clock right before I came out here, it was 5:21 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, early evening. Still very hot in Indianapolis. It was supposed to be much cooler today. It was supposed to be about 81. I think it is upper 80s, maybe lower 90s today. And the humidity is really, really hot. I've been sitting outside the better part of the day and I'm just like sweating bullets. But I'm trying to enjoy the last days of summer. I was actually just waiting here while one of my videos was rendering so that I could start uploading it before I started vlogging. And I just went and got another cup of coffee. This is my second cup of coffee for the day. I have to tell you, out of all those Torani syrups that I got, my favorite is the toasted marshmallow. I think this is the order they go in for me, of the ones that I've purchased. Is the toasted marshmallow is my favorite with coffee. Number two is the macadamia nut is like my second favorite, which is kind of strange because I didn't think that I would like that one the most. And then my third one is the cinnamon brown sugar, which I think is just another name for the French toast one. I think they're the exact same one. And then my least favorite is the pumpkin pie. The pumpkin pie actually tastes a lot different than just like pumpkin spice. I don't really know how to explain how it tastes different. It tastes a lot different than just like a pumpkin spice coffee or pumpkin spice latte or something like that. I don't dislike it. It doesn't mix really well with the iced coffee. I think it would probably be really good just on like vanilla ice cream or something like that, or maybe like in a hot latte it might be good. But with iced coffee, it doesn't mix very well. I don't know if it's that I'm just like, you know, used to having I don't know, more of like summery flavors or like, you know, what I was going to say, nutty flavors for summer or whatever. And that the pumpkin is like, I'm not really ready for it yet. I don't really know. I am actually ready for fall and I'm ready for Halloween. I'm kind of excited about it. It's kind of like I'm sitting on this fence. Like, as much as I'm complaining about the heat and whatever, it's like, I don't want summer to be over yet. But at the same time, like, I'm really ready for fall and Halloween and things like that. So I'm not super sad about that. And we have some fun things planned for this fall and winter, so I'm not, you know, super upset about that. Those things will be fun as well, so I've got things to look forward to. My allergies have absolutely been killing me all summer long, but it seems like the closer we get to fall, the worse my allergies are, and my throat has just been like, today is just especially has been like really itching like crazy. Like just like, I just feel like right here it's just like tingling and itching so bad. But anyway, I was waiting for this video to get done rendering, and I was just sitting out here and I didn't have my phone or anything. My phone was inside and I was just sitting out here drinking coffee, and there's like a little bit of a light breeze and I could hear this woodpecker in the distance. And my neighbors had asked me to go to the pool. My neighbors in the corner, they had asked me to go to the pool. And I woke up today and I was like, should I take another day and not film any videos? And I was like, no, like I want to film some videos today. And I knew that once I started, if I filmed one, I wouldn't want to stop, right? And so I ended up filming a Peter Does Stuff video, a review video, a Peterisms video, a drama video, and now this. So I filmed 5 videos today when I was thinking about maybe taking the day off. But anyway, so she had texted me and she said we're coming back from the pool because I told her that if I got stuff done, I would maybe meet them up there. But it was cloudy kind of like the better part of the day. But I thought, oh, just like a dip in the pool would be so nice just to get up there and cool off for a little bit. So I was just sitting out here. I was just kind of relaxing. I was drinking my coffee. And do you ever just like watch the wind move through the trees? And you just kind of feel like you're part of nature, you know? Even if you're just sitting on your front porch. You're not like hiking in the woods. You're not like, you know, doing all of that like in nature kind of. You can just be sitting here and just like look at the wind like move through the trees, and it's so pretty, and just see like the little butterflies, you know, flying around, and the birds going from limb to limb, and little squirrels and things like that, and you know, hear the sounds of the dogs barking in the distance and the woodpecker on the tree and things like that. I don't know, just I felt so peaceful. I felt so peaceful all day today, and actually I'm gonna tell you guys about our anniversary here in a second. Our anniversary was not exciting whatsoever, but it was a really nice way to spend our anniversary, you know? I always have like these really high expectations that we have to do this, we have to do that, and, you know, Christmas has to be over the top, and anniversaries have to be over the top, and birthdays have to be over the top, and all this kind of stuff, right? And so I struggle with that. I struggle with thinking that we always have to do the most for everything. And yesterday was so peaceful, and today was so peaceful, and I've just had a really relaxing 2 days, and it's been very, very nice. And in fact, it's been something I've worked on the last couple years, is to kind of get to this place of calm and peace and relaxation, and then stay there and just kind of, you know, be very calm. It's I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I remember I don't know, this was like a month or two ago. It was probably 2 months ago. I filmed a vlog late at night because I just felt like filming late at night, and I came out here and I was very peaceful, and I just like turned on the camera and started talking to the camera. And it was so interesting because the response I got from that, like there was so many people in the comment sections that were like, is something wrong with Peter? Is Peter okay? Like, what's going on with Peter? You know, like Peter doesn't seem himself tonight and whatever. And I even said it, I think, at the beginning of the vlog. I said, I'm just like really calm and relaxed, and I wanted to talk to you guys, and I just felt like talking, so I thought I would turn on the camera and do my vlog now. And what's so funny is, since then, I've kind of had, you know, several nights where I thought about like just pulling up the camera and filming for the next day. But I'm always kind of apprehensive about that because so many people were just kind of like taken off, you know, like they were, I don't know, they just were like, is something going on with, what's wrong with Peter? Like, he seems so different in this video, you know? But I'm very calm and relaxed today, and I feel very, very peaceful. And I've had a good day today. Like I said, I woke up today and was like, so yesterday we didn't do anything really that exciting for our anniversary. I'll tell you about that in a second. And in fact, we got home and we had dinner plans last night, and we had reservations for 8 o'clock, and we got home from doing our stuff in the morning at about 3:30, and Alex wanted to take a nap, and so I did not get very much sleep the night before. I'll talk about that in just a second, but I was really tired, but I knew that I probably couldn't fall asleep. And so I was like, well, maybe I should film some videos. Maybe I should, you know, at least do like a vlog or a Peterisms video and a vlog or whatever. And I thought, no, just take the day. It's not going to kill you to not film a video for one day. You know, I always feel so driven because I always just love connecting with you guys, and especially on this channel, and, you know, just telling you what's going on and whatever. He wouldn't have cared. He was asleep anyway. And so I thought, no, blah, 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 whatever. So anyway, so this was our anniversary yesterday. Well, first of all, the night before, so our anniversary was Friday. So Thursday, which was also my dad's birthday. So my dad yesterday turned 83. And so Thursday, I watched the Big Brother live evictions, and then I went to go lay down for a little bit because Alex was like in bed and he was like watching his show and stuff like that. And so I like laid down next to him, and Boo Radley was up there. Our bedroom, first of all, so it's been like a heat advisory in Indianapolis for the last like week, last 4 or 5 days, and which to a lot of people I know is going to sound crazy. But it's been like 95 to 100, and the heat index has been like 110, 115. But the humidity has been so strong too. So it's just been like unbelievably miserable to be outside. And I mean, I could literally, like when I'm watching my shows and I walk inside, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so good in here because of the air conditioning. Because our air conditioning on the ground floor is perfect. The basement is almost kind of chilly because it's underground, and like basements naturally are pretty cold anyway, which I think is why Boo Radley has been spending so much time down there. I got into his house again with him last night because when I was watching my shows, he was like in his house because it was cool. And then when I go upstairs to bed, I go down there and I get him and I take him upstairs to bed. But today all day he's been like laying in bed with Alex. And so he doesn't, I don't think Boo Radley, like he's not like or anything like that. So I don't think he minds it. And he lays like right on my side of the bed, right in front of the fan when the fan is on. But I do think that he enjoys like the cold of the basement and things like that. But I have such a hard time sleeping in the heat. I'm somebody that would much rather be cold and like cover up with blankets and get warm. I mean, I sleep with a fan year round, right? I would much rather be freezing cold and then get covered up in blankets than be hot and just be like, oh. Like, I hate that, right? That air conditioning thing that we bought last year, or I bought last year, where you put ice and it does not work. That thing is junk. It does not work. And by the time that it started really getting hot in our bedroom, it was so late in the year that I thought, I'm not going to buy something else, because I thought about buying like a window unit or something. I mean, we have centralized air, and so the air does get upstairs to the bedroom. So it's not, I mean, it's not as hot as it is outside, but it's not cool by any means, because the heat rises, and like our bathroom is like right on top of the garage, which is really, really hot, and it's not really that well insulated, I don't think. And so our bedroom just gets really hot. And there's only like 2 vents in our bedroom, 1 vent in the closet, and 1 vent in the bathroom. And so the bathroom is always really hot. We keep the door closed to the bathroom like all the time. And then we keep the closet, our walk-in closet gets pretty cool, so we leave that door open so that we have like 3 vents. But still, it doesn't get that cool upstairs. Now downstairs, like where the kitchen and the living room and stuff is, and the bathroom down here, it's pretty cool. We keep it set to 70, and it's not bad. I'm afraid to go a little bit lower than that, because we've had some problems with our air conditioner, like when we put it, I mean, I could have it at 68 or 67, but my fear is that we'll like overwork the air conditioner, and then the air conditioner will break down. So we keep it set at about 70, which downstairs is fine, but upstairs it's really hot, right? Alex does not notice it. He's like, I don't think it's that hot up here. I'm like, you don't think it's that hot up here? I think it's so hot up here. So I have such a hard time sleeping. So anyway, Thursday night, he was watching a show, and I was like, I'm going to lay down for a little bit, and then I'm going to get up and watch Fear the Walking Dead. We had an appointment with our accountant yesterday morning, and our appointment was at 11 o'clock. And so Alex had a work meeting yesterday morning at 9 o'clock that was like a Zoom call. So he wasn't going to stay up. Do you hear that plane? Sounds like an old-timey kind of plane, doesn't it? So the Wright brothers plane, that's what it sounds like. So he wasn't going to stay. Oh, it does look like a little plane. So he wasn't going to stay up super, super late, because he had to get up about like 8:30 to get ready for the Zoom meeting. And then I was going to get up after that and get ready, and we were going to go to our accountant. That was the appointment that we had yesterday. And then our plan was to either go to brunch or lay out by the pool or things like that, right? So I laid down in bed, and I was like, I can't remember what time it was. Well, I didn't start watching Big Brother till 10. And so I must have finished it about, because I like fast forwarded through because I wait till it's like done recording, and then you can watch it on Paramount, but I don't think it comes out till the next day. You can watch it live on like Pluto and things like that, but since we have cable, I just record it on cable, and I like fast forward through all the ads, the commercials. So I got it done probably about 10:45, 11 o'clock, something like that. And I went upstairs, and I was like, I'm going to lay down for like an hour and a half, and I'm going to get up, and I'm going to watch like 2 or 3 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. I'm so into Fear the Walking Dead. It's so interesting. I was telling Mel last night, hey, how are you? Your sweater is so pretty. She doesn't hear me. She's very sweet. It's this older lady, and she walks in the neighborhood. I don't know how she's walking in a sweater in this heat, but she's got this sweater on, and it's got like big leaves and like blue plants at the bottom of it. It's real pretty. It hangs down to like her knees. She's got this little cute like white hat on with like a tie thing around her neck. She's real cute. She's the one that always walks with like her, well, several of the neighbors walk with their purses, but she always has this like big purse over her. But anyway, so I laid there, and I laid there for like 20 minutes, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I am so hot. Like, I cannot lay down here and sleep. And I would like fall asleep for a couple minutes, and then I would wake up, and I'd be like, oh God, I'm so hot. And I would fall asleep for a couple minutes, I would wake up. Maybe it was more like 30, 45 minutes, I don't know. But finally I woke up, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And Alex was like, what's wrong, babe? And I was like, I can't sleep. Like, I'm so uncomfortable. I said, I may end up sleeping on the couch downstairs tonight, because I'm with like 2 fans on me, because I just cannot deal with this. He was like, well, whatever you need to do. He's like, I want you to be comfortable. So I came downstairs, and I listened to some of my audiobooks. So the book for August for Peter's book club is Death by Dumpling by Vivian Chen, and it's the book 1 in the Noodle Shop Cozy Mystery series. I am loving it. I am tearing through it. I have 1 hour left. I am tearing through it. So I'm supposed to finish the book on Monday. And Monday's supposed to be my last hour of listening to it on Audible. I only have an hour left of it. I am like tearing through this book. I love this book. I love this series. I'm going to be reading this whole series. It's really, really good. And the main character's name is Lana Lee. And she's biracial. Her mother's Korean. Her father's, I think, English. And they own like a noodle shop in north of Cleveland. And it's all about all these stores that are like in this like Asian community, and then this like murder happens to the guy that's the landlord, and she gets kind of implicated in it because she delivers these dumplings to him, and he is allergic to shrimp and shellfish, and the dumplings have shrimp in them, but like he orders from the restaurant like every single day, so she's like implicated in it. So she's trying to figure out like who like actually like served him, and he had like an EpiPen like in his shirt, but now there's no EpiPen that was found at the site. So she's trying to find out who did it. She's really a cool character too, and she kind of has like two love interests. She has like this guy that is like now in charge of like the whole community, like the new landlord, and then she's also got this love interest that's the detective, which I'm hoping she goes with the detective. I just love the love aspect of these things. It's so cute. And she's probably like 30, I think, 30, 35, something like that in the book, and she's got her older sister, and her mom's always like, you need a boyfriend, you need to find a boyfriend, and she's like, Mom, I don't need a boyfriend, you know, like, get on my sister about it. And she's like, your sister's in school, she doesn't need a boyfriend, you need a boyfriend, you need a husband. It's so funny. So the book is really great. I love it. And so I was listening to a lot of that, or listening to a little bit of that night. And then I watched Fear the Walking Dead. So it's so funny. I was telling Mel this last night. Mel and I talked for a long time, and I got caught up with her last night. It's so funny because, you know, I took this long hiatus from watching Fear the Walking Dead, and I was like, I didn't know if I would ever be able to get back into it. And then I just started watching it last week, and I like finished half the season of season 4 left, finished that. Now I only have 2 episodes of season 5 left. I feel like these people cannot catch a break, like seriously. Like the episode I was watching last night, they had like all these like bad guys coming for them, and literally like that ends, and then these new bad people like come into the picture. I'm like, can these people catch a break? Can they just like have one episode? Well, there actually is kind of like one episode that's very sweet and just talks about their lives, but then like even at the end of that, it's like they can't catch a break, right? And it's what I love about the Walking Dead whole like universe and all these books, and it's very similar also to like the As the World Dies book series by Rain and Frater that I absolutely love. That it's the really sad idea or mentality of a zombie apocalypse is that in the midst of the zombie apocalypse, of who we should be most worried about, I mean, this is very telling of how we look at our world, right? Of who we should be most worried about would be the dead walking, right? The zombies. But it's never that. It's always the other human beings that are out to take what they feel like they deserve and kill somebody else. Like it's always like other human beings that are still alive. That is like our biggest threat, or their biggest threat, which is, I think it's interesting. So anyway, so I watched several episodes of that, and oh, the night before, so I was like eating my dinner the night before, and I may have shared this on a vlog, I don't know, but I started watching Legally Blonde. I was just like looking through the free movies on cable. I was like, I never do this anymore. I used to always have like a movie playing in the background when I was like doing stuff around the house. So I was like cleaning up, and then I sat down to eat my dinner. I was like, I'm gonna watch a movie. I haven't watched a movie in a while, that, you know, like some free movie. And so I wanted a shark movie, but there were no shark movies that I could find. I didn't want to look that hard. I'm sure I could have found one. So I was like, oh, I haven't seen Legally Blonde for a while. I sat there and watched Legally Blonde from the beginning to end. I've seen that movie a million times. I was bawling my eyes out at the end. I was like, oh my God, I love this movie. I forgot about this movie. But you know what I realized is, do you hear our neighbor's dog barking in the backyard? They just got back from this is our neighbors next door. They just got back from like a 10 or 12 day trip to Alaska. And it was so funny. So that boat sound that you heard was this girl that they have that dog like house sits for them while they're gone. And she's really sweet. I mean, I have never seen a dog sitter, house sitter like this. I mean, she was there all the time, took care of this dog, walked this dog, took the dog to the dog park. She's like cleaning, I could see her like in the windows, like cleaning their kitchen. I mean, she was so sweet, so friendly. I don't know how they found her, but anyway, so they're back. And he's been outside in the backyard today. He's like been barking and stuff. I think he's so excited that they're home. But anyway, but what I realized was when I got done with Legally Blonde, I had never seen Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blue. I've never seen it. And I mean, I've seen clips of it, you know, where Jennifer Coolidge is like, makes me want a hot dog real bad, you know, all that. I've seen those clips, but I've never seen it, I don't think. So I was going to start watching it last night, but I was like, no, I'll save that for sometime this weekend or this upcoming week. So anyway, I stayed up and watched Fear the Walking Dead. Alex went to sleep about, I think, like 1 o'clock or something on Thursday night. And I don't know what time I went to sleep. I can't remember. It was probably like 4 or something like that. And I literally just laid there and tossed and turned and tossed and turned and tossed and turned. I was talking to Tanya about it yesterday because I'm really, like, I've been trying not to say a lot about it on here because in all honesty, I don't need 15 people's different opinions about what I need to do about my sleep situation. But nothing works. None of the herbal remedies work. I felt like they did for a while. The pillow spray relaxes me, but unless I'm really tired, like, it doesn't really put me to sleep. I think it would put a normal person to sleep, but I really think that I am suffering greatly as a result of being on this Keppra. But I feel so good on the Keppra that I don't want to transition to something else, if that makes sense. But I also have to have some sleep. Like, I'm getting to the point now where it's like I'm getting very few hours of sleep a day. Or what will happen is I'll get like 8 or 10 hours of sleep one day, and then the next 3 days, I'm getting like 3 hours of sleep a day. And so by the third or fourth day, I'm like so exhausted that I'm just like, I can't keep this up, you know? So Thursday night, I go to sleep. I toss and I turn and I toss and I turn and I toss and I turn. The trazodone isn't, well, I haven't been taking the trazodone at all. Haven't been taking the herbal, well, I actually ended up at Costco the other day. I bought another herbal supplement that had like melatonin. It's just like another one of those things I bought. None of them work for me. I know that they work for some people, but they don't work for me. So I laid down. I hadn't really got that much sleep the night before. So I thought, okay, I'm going to fall asleep pretty easily. I mean to tell you, it was like Alex was getting up for his meeting and I had not even slept. And so I was like, I have to sleep as late as I possibly can. He goes, okay, well, I'll wake you up at like 10 o'clock and then you can take like a quick shower and get ready and then we can go. And I said, that would be perfect. So I think he got up. I think that was about 8 o'clock. Maybe he was like in bed just like looking at his phone or something when he said that to me. Because I fell asleep about 8 o'clock. Was the last time that I looked at my phone. So I got about 2 hours of sleep. Thursday going into Friday. So I woke up yesterday. And weirdly enough, like this is the thing. Like I'm not super tired. I mean, like by the third or fourth day it kind of catches up with me. But like that next day when I get up, like I don't feel like super exhausted. I feel like kind of like mentally exhausted a little bit. But I don't feel like, God, I gotta go right back to sleep. Like in fact, I couldn't even probably fall asleep if I wanted to. But the other thing is, I'm getting up and I'm taking my medicine. And so I don't know if like the medicine is like making me alert. I don't really know that much about Keppra. So when I go to see my neurologist, I'm gonna have a lot of questions because I've got to ask about this. Like I said, I don't want to come off of it because I feel so much better on the Keppra than I did on the Depakote. And I can't go back on the Depakote because of the pancreatitis, you know, risk and things like that. And there are a lot of other medicines out there, you know, seizure disorder medicines and things like that. I don't really want to switch to one of them. I really do like how the Keppra makes me feel, except I'm tired. Like it makes me, well, no, it makes me not sleep. So anyway, so we went to our accountant appointment at 11. We got done there about 12:30. Went really well. I joked in my my drama video today because it was basically just kind of like a rant video. And I was joking about how she only said happy anniversary like one time. We're like, yeah, this is our anniversary present. She's like, what? I was like, this is our anniversary present. Well, Alex had to be at the appointment too, so we had to do it on a day that he was like off, and she doesn't take weekend appointments, so that's why we did it yesterday. But anyway, so afterwards, it was like really cloudy, and so our plan had been to maybe like pick up lunch and come back and go to the pool, but it was really cloudy. And so he was like, do you want to just go get brunch? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he was like, well, do you want to go to Rise or do you want to go to, because we've gone to Rise quite a bit and we like it. He said, or do you want to go to Patachou and whatever. I said, let's go to Patachou. Like, that's our place, right? So we went to Patachou for brunch, and our friend that works there that we've known for a long time, very dear friend of ours, was our server. And he must see like a squirrel or something out there. He is like going crazy town. Now he's not barking at all, now that I said that. That's so funny that I said that and he stopped barking. But anyway, So we went to Patashu, and we just had such a wonderful brunch. We had the same thing we always do. I had the California Dreamer and an everything bagel, but I only ate like half my omelet. And that's the California Dreamer. And then I had half of my bagel. Alex had his Cuban. I had coffee. It was coconut cream yesterday. And he had regular coffee. And then I got a piece of the lemon poppy seed bread to go home, which is like, has this like this icing on the top of it, which is really good because I wanted it like to watch a TV show later or whatever with. And I got full like really quick. But we had such a nice time. We like, you know, we're talking about like our favorite moments of our relationship and talking about our wedding. It was just like a really romantic brunch. It was really cute. So after that, he like ran me to, I needed to go to Fresh Time. So he ran me to Fresh Time, ran a couple other errands, and we got home. I think we got home about 3:30 or something like that. He kept on talking about it. He was like, I'm so tired. I don't know what's wrong. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong either. Like, you've gotten good sleep this week. He's like, I am so tired. My husband could literally sleep like 15 or 20 hours and be just like fine. Like when we first met, like I can remember we would like go out and like, you know, he would work all day. We would go to the gym and work out, and then we'd come home and we'd take like a short nap, and then we'd get ready, and then we would go out, and then we'd go to like Steak and Shake on the way home, and then we'd go to bed late, and we'd start it all over again, right? But if he had like a day off, or if we didn't do anything, he could literally sleep 15 or 20 hours in a row. Like my husband is such a sleeper, you know? Like people joke about my late naps and stuff like that. Alex can literally go to bed at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon and sleep till 7 or 8 the next morning. He's taking a nap right now. He's been taking a nap for the last 2 hours. So my husband is a sleeper. I don't know if like, he said he didn't really sleep a lot when he was in San Diego, so I don't know if that's kind of like catching up with him or whatnot. It might be. But, so anyway, so we got home, and he was like, I am so tired. And I was like, okay. I was like, and it was still kind of cloudy outside, but it was like the sun was starting to come out a little bit. And he was like, if you want to go to the pool, we can go to the pool. And I said, babe, like if you don't want to go to the pool, don't go, you know, whatever. And we had reservations at 8 o'clock to go to Sangiovese. I talked about that, the Devour Indie thing, and that was one of the restaurants. And we love Sangiovese, the Italian restaurant. It was one of my Aunt Kathy's favorite restaurants, and so it kind of like means a lot to us. And so we had plans to go there at 8 o'clock for dinner. And it's like 3:30, and we're both like full and exhausted, right? Except I knew, like if I laid down and take a nap, I wouldn't be able to fall asleep. Because I felt like physically exhausted, but I still was like in my head. And this is when I thought about maybe filming some videos. So he goes, do you care if I lay down and take a nap? I was like, no, not at all. Go upstairs, lay down. So he went upstairs with Boo Radley and took a nap. And I came out here and I listened to my audiobook for a little bit. I like literally yesterday bumped out like 2 hours of that audiobook. Just listened to a little bit here, a little bit there. I am so into this audiobook. I haven't been into a cozy mystery like this in a long time. So I think I sat out here for like half an hour, 45 minutes or something like that. And so my neighbor was across the street. She's watering her plants. She told me earlier that she was showing our video of her garden to her friends that are gardeners. And she said, I'm not really happy with the way that the colors of the plants showed up on the camera. I go, what do you mean? And she goes, well, they're brighter in person. I go, I know. Sometimes like the camera dulls it down and stuff like that. She goes, but my friends are jealous of me. I go, they are. And she said, yeah, they're jealous that I have a famous YouTuber that lives across the street. She said, they want me, they want you to film their gardens too. I was like, oh, okay. I said, people would love that if I did that. She's like, no, we'll just film my gardens. I go, okay. So anyway, she's so sweet. I was actually telling her about this cozy mystery series that I'm reading. Do you hear that wind? Is that not so pretty? See, at night, like that's the sound of like Halloween and fall to me, that wind, you know, in the trees. So I finally, after like 45 minutes of sitting out here, I went upstairs and we must have got home maybe sooner than that. I don't remember what time it was because I went upstairs and maybe I didn't sit out here that long. I think it was like 3:30. I don't even remember, but I laid down and I could not fall asleep. And I laid in bed for like 15 minutes and I was very comfortable, but I could not fall asleep. So finally I got up. Oh, our neighbors across the street on the corner, they had texted and said that they were going to go to the pool and that they knew that it was our anniversary and if Alex and I would like to go up there, they, you know, were like, come up here, blah, 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 whatever. So I sat up in bed, and I was like so frustrated that I couldn't sleep because I just wanted to take a nap and then be like rested and go to dinner and things like that. And so I was sitting there, and I stayed at the pool till about 5:30, and I got up there about 4:15. So this must have been about 4. So I sat up, and Alex was like, he woke up and he was like, "What's wrong, babe?" And I was like, "I cannot sleep. Like, this is, at this point, this is a lot." Like, I stopped. I was like, I just can't sleep at all. I don't know really what's going on. And like, even last night I didn't get a lot of sleep, but like right now, like, I physically feel really tired, but like I feel very alert. And so if I lay down, I couldn't sleep. I know that. I don't really know what's going on. I'm confused. I think it has to do with the medicine fully, right? Because I've read the threads, and a lot of people say the same thing on the threads that are on Keppra. In fact, a lot of people get off of Keppra because of this. But like I said, I like how the Keppra makes me feel. I mean, it doesn't make me feel any different way. I just feel more clear-headed than I felt on the Depakote. And so, I mean, in all honesty, I feel better on the Keppra than I have felt in a long time on the Depakote. So I want to stay on the Keppra. So anyway, so I was like, I think I'm going to go to the pool for a little bit. Because I thought, if I go to the pool and I get in the pool and whatever, then maybe I'll come back and I'll be relaxed and I'll be tired and be able to fall asleep. And he was like, okay. And I said, do you want to go? And he was like, no, I'm just going to stay here and sleep because I'm tired. And I said, okay. He was so tired yesterday. And so I went to the pool, and several of my neighbors were up there. I sat on the steps and drank my coffee, and they were like treading water, and we were all talking about the HOA and stuff like that. We had like this hilarious conversation. My neighbor next door was up there. They were across the street. Some of my other neighbors in the neighborhood, the same people that go to the pool all the time, you know. So we were complaining about the HOA and stuff like that. It was fun. And I stayed up there till about 5:30. And I came back because I was like, okay, I still felt like I couldn't sleep. But I was like, if I sleep from 6 to 7, or 5:45 to like 7, then I'll get like at least an hour of sleep, and then I'll be rested, and then whatever. And I knew Alex wasn't going to want to stay up super late. So it wasn't like we were just going to go to dinner and then come home and maybe watch a movie or something like that. So I laid down in bed, and I was like tossing and turning and tossing and turning, and he was like sleeping the whole time. So it was like 6:25. And I had set my alarm for 7. It was like 6:25, and I started drifting off. And right as I started drifting off, Alex goes, babe, we have to be up, or we have to be out of here in less than an hour for dinner. And I was like, okay. I go, well, I'm just going to sleep until 7 o'clock. I don't even really remember how it went down now. But anyway, he felt so bad, and he was like, babe, you're so tired. And I was like, I just can't sleep. I just wish I could sleep for a couple hours. And he was like, well, I'm not hungry. He goes, at all. Like, I'm still full from brunch. And he goes, do you want to just cancel dinner plans? And I was like, I feel like if we cancel dinner plans, like, I don't even remember what I said, but I felt like, you know, like, we didn't go to Vegas for our anniversary. We didn't do anything special. Like, I don't want to cancel dinner plans. And yes, we had this, like, very romantic brunch. I mean, all this kind of stuff. And he's like, babe, he was like, we take wonderful trips. He was like, we go out to dinner, we hang out with each other. He was like, you know, we don't have to go out to dinner tonight. I was like, so you don't feel bad? Because I, like, you know, felt like we had to do something special. I was like, so you don't feel bad if we, he goes, no, not at all. He was like, I'm completely content just like hanging out here with you and Boo Radley tonight. I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, babe. So he canceled the dinner reservations. The battery died. I had to go inside and get another battery. Both of my batteries are pretty low. Like the other one, I like filmed a bunch of stuff on. I thought I could make it last. And this one is still not fully charged. So let's see if it does well or not. But anyway, so he canceled dinner plans. And then, yeah, we just kind of like hung out for a little bit. Y'all don't need to know about all that stuff. But anyway. And then he took Boo Radley outside. This was after a while, and gave him his medicine and stuff like that, and like came back upstairs, and he was like, I think I'm gonna go to bed. And I was like, for the night? And he was like, yeah, he's like, I think so. And I was like, okay. And then he like laid down, then he got back up, and he like watched a show and all this kind of stuff. I could not sleep again. Like I laid down, and I was like in and out asleep and whatever. So finally he was like, you really are struggling, aren't you? I go, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm like really struggling. And it was more like the idea of that I just wanted to sleep and couldn't sleep. Not that I was like so exhausted that I felt like I needed to sleep. My body felt like physically exhausted, but like, I wouldn't say exhausted. My body felt physically tired, but I didn't feel like I could like fall asleep like that quick. You know what I mean? So anyway, I ended up coming out here and listening to my audiobook and watching some of my shows and stuff like that. And yeah, and that was our night. So anyway, it was a good night. And then today, we got up. Alex took Boo Radley out and stuff like that, and I asked him, did I say this already in the vlog? I don't remember, but I said, it is like so, I said to him last night, I said, like, after all this, I was like, do you feel bad that we didn't do anything for our anniversary? He was like, no. I go, you don't? I go, don't you think that? He goes, I don't feel bad at all. He was like, we do special stuff all the time. We take really nice trips. He was like, I don't feel bad about this at all. He's like, we have had amazing anniversaries. He's like, for us to just hang out here with Boo Radley for 1 year, he was like, and we had a nice brunch. He was like, no, I don't feel bad about that at all. And I was like, okay. So anyway, so yeah, so today I was expecting it to be a lot cooler, and last night it did get a little bit cooler last night, because at some point I like had on my fleece jacket, and then it started getting warm and I took it off, but like I could have had my fleece coat on last night for the whole night because it was getting cooler. But when he came back upstairs today from taking Boo Radley out and stuff like that, I said, is it a lot cooler today? Because it was supposed to be like a lot cooler, you know, because it'd been upper 90s and it was supposed to be like low 80s, and he goes, no, not at all. And I was like, oh. Yeah, and then I was like, I don't know that I'm going to film any more, or film any videos today. I might take another day. I was actually thinking about taking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, you know, and because sometimes like when we're in Las Vegas, I other than like a vlog, I don't film a lot of videos like for our anniversary and stuff, or I'll take 2 to 3 days off or whatever. But then I was like, Alex was upstairs and he napped for a couple hours and watched a show, and then nap. That's what he's been basically doing all day long. Tonight he is going over to his girlfriend's house that he hasn't seen in a long time. It's like he and his girlfriend and like 2 of their other friends, like the 4 of them haven't gotten together in a long time, and they're gonna play video games. I don't know what video games, but they're playing video games. So but I said something to him about being late. He's like, no, it'll be an early night. It's not gonna be super late. So that's what he's doing tonight, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably just watch Fear the Walking Dead. I would love to say that I was gonna take a nap, but even if I went upstairs right now to lay down, I don't think I could fall asleep. Okay, you guys are like on the edge of the table, and I have to show you what just happened. So I didn't see, it's like, it was like slowly like slipping over to the edge, and this is what happened. The tripod is like literally on the edge of the table, and this is what happened. And it got a real good gut shot real quick. So we don't need a good gut shot. So anyway, so I'm back now. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like I appreciate you guys really being helpful and sharing, like, you know, what you've gone through and stuff like this. I know that my sleep issues are directly related to the Keppra. They have to be. When I read the threads, other people's stories are so similar to mine, right? And so I'm just going to have to talk to my neurologist about it and what he recommends with other patients that have gone through this similar situation, and find out a solution to him. So please try not to leave, you know, all of the suggestions of, have you tried this, have you tried that, or it's too much caffeine, or it's not this, it's not that. It's the Keppra. I know it's the Keppra. So, and I'm just asking that. So I know as soon as I say that, I'll get like one comment, and it'll be like, somebody will be like, have you thought about it? And I'll be like, I'm just asking, okay, please, okay? Like, I know that I'm sharing when you share your life with the world, people are gonna have responses to that, okay? I know it's because of the Keppra. I know that, all right? So I just need to get with my neurologist and figure out what to do because it's the Keppra. So anyway, and hopefully he has a solution. I mean, when I do read the threads, many of the people that have had similar situations as me, they go to their neurologist, and the neurologist is like, there's really nothing that you can do, because part of the problem is that Keppra interacts with a lot of sleep aids, which is why I've been taking like all of these like herbal sleep aids, like melatonin and things like that, which I don't believe those things work for me, and magnesium and whatever. But trazodone didn't work for me. There's not really a lot of other options unless you're taking like some deep sleep medication. And a lot of things interact with Kepra, so there's not a lot of things that you can take, you know? So, but we'll find out. He knows his stuff, so we'll see what he has to say. So yeah, I think tonight I'm going to try to finish my audiobook, Death by Dumplin'. If I finish that tonight, then I'm going to start the Delphi murder book, which is our book for true crime book for August. And then I'm totally caught up on all my books. And then I think I just pre-ordered a book today. I can't remember what it was. It was supposed to be like Scream, like the horror movie Scream. But like a gay version of that. And this like librarian that I follow like on Instagram like does all these reviews of books and stuff like that. And well, I follow a couple like bookstagrammers and stuff like that. So anyway, but she always like books that she likes, I like. Books that she doesn't like, I don't like. And so her recommendations are very similar to things I like. And she had just put out that she had gotten an advanced reader's copy and ARC of this and that she really liked it. And so I pre-ordered it last night on Audible. And I think if I finish the Delphi book, I'm either going to go into the book for Peter's Book Club for September that I picked and start reading that, or I think I'm going to read either another Tanya Kappas book, because I haven't read those for a while, of the Campers and Criminals, or I'm going to read the next book in the what do you call it? The Noodle Shop Mysteries. I think there's only like 3 or 4 books out on Audible, which means after that I'll have to read the physical copies, which is totally fine. But I may just like listen to all of those. I'm all caught up on the Misfortune books, so I may, which is really, I was like looking at my like reading challenge on Goodreads last night. I think when I finish this book, this will have been my 18th book I've read this year. That is sad, okay? I mean, for me, where I was reading like 60 or 70, 100, well, no, 100 books a year, which for a lot of people are like 100 books a year is not a lot. Like, Tanya probably reads 200-300 books a year, in all honesty. I just like really have had a hard time until recently. You know, and I went through a period where I was like really struggling, just like sitting out here listening to audiobooks. I kind of go through phases with it. It's like the coffee and the syrup. It's like I go through phases where I don't like any flavor in my coffee, and then I love flavor in my coffee. It's like the same thing with the book. It's like I go through periods where like I was sitting there listening to my audiobook last night. I was like, I could do this every night of my entire life, sit out here and listen to audiobooks. And there's other days where I'm just like, God, I don't know. It has to be a really good book though that I'm really into. Because there are other days where I'm just like, I am not in the mood to like listen to an audiobook or whatever. I actually bought this book. I pre-ordered it. Somebody sent it to me on TikTok. And it's like a true crime novel. But like I think it's fiction maybe. I think it's called A Murder in the House or Murder in the Family or something like that. It doesn't come out until September 12th. And I pre-ordered it. Not on Audible. I ordered the physical copy. I'm going to read it. And it's like as you read it, you try to solve the crime as you're reading it. And it's got like all these pictures and stuff in there and like documents. It's supposed to be really good. I saw somebody, it was probably a paid sponsorship, but I saw somebody on TikTok talk about it. Because they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this book is out. This is like the best book I've ever read in my entire life. And then I went to go order it and I was like, it doesn't even come out until September 12th. How are you? Like, and she didn't say anything in her TikTok about, like, book TikTok is really big right now. And somebody had sent this to me. I'm like, you're acting like, she said she ordered it and it like came in the mail. I'm like, there's no way you could have ordered this and it came in the mail when the pre-order, like you obviously got this as an advanced reader's copy and you didn't even announce it in your TikTok. And I was so stupid that I fell for that and bought the book, and the book will probably be stupid. That's what you get. Stupid is as stupid does, right? Oh well. I wasn't hungry earlier, but now I'm kind of getting hungry. I made those the other day on my review channel. I reviewed those fake chicken, popcorn chickens. And I really, really like those. So I'm thinking about maybe going in and frying some of those up. In the microwave, making some of those. I'm almost out of tortilla chips. I like the very bottom of the bag. I'm out of Harvest cheddar chips. I have sour cream and I have salsa in the fridge, but I don't have any of that queso left. But I do have that Doritos queso that I reviewed on my channel the other day. And I really love the Doritos Cool Ranch jalapeno dip. I was actually dipping combos in there last night for a little late night snack. They were really good. And I did have my lemon poppy seed bread, which was delicious. So, yeah. I was going to try to stretch this out to an hour today, because Alex is napping, so I thought, well, I can just sit out here for an hour, but I don't really have tons to say. I was like, well, maybe tell some stories about when you were like a kid growing up in the summer, and I'm like, I've done that a million times. Oh, I do know one thing I wanted to say. I don't know if I said this the other night in my vlog. I feel like it happened after that. So, this will be interesting to some of you out there, some of you it won't. But I fell down this rabbit hole the other day. So I was watching, it was while I was eating something, and I watched this, I meant to mention this on here the other day, so I may have, but I don't think I did. But if I did, I'm repeating myself, so I apologize. But I fell down this like rabbit hole of like, I don't think I talked about this on here, I'm not sure. But anyway, I was watching some drag pageant. And in the drag pageant was this, this female impersonator. And I was like, how do I know her? Like, I know her, it's Taryn Taylor is who it was. And they had like one clip where it was like with her drag mother, who I think is Trinity Taylor. And so she was competing in something against somebody else. And so I was like, oh, how do I know that person? So I Google searched that person. Well, it came up with this website that's called Our Community Roots. And Our Community Roots is literally where they have like every LGBTQIA plus entertainer per state, right? So like Indiana has like, I think it's like 22 pages or something like that, where it's literally just people's faces and it tells like awards they've won, what they've done and things like that. It's like some of them it's very small, others it's like they have like a long list of things, right? So I literally went through this whole list and I was looking at like everybody on there. And it was so weird because like some of these people, like if you're from Indiana and you went out when I first came out in 1990 and things like that, like some of these people like Tracy Adams and some of these people you would remember, June Taylor, just so many people that like were big drag performers in Indianapolis. Gina Jones, Stacey Stevens, not Stacey Adams, Stacey Stevens, all these people that were like big performers back in the day. Jamie Hunter, Lena Myers, that we used to go out and see, and they were like superstars to us, right? So I was like looking up somebody, I was like, what happened to this person? And like on this person's page, it said see their Facebook. So I went to their Facebook, and their Facebook was pretty locked down, but like the first thing they had was linked to this other Facebook, and it was a page, it was like a group, and it was about like this Indiana LGBT history. And I was like, what is this? And I noticed that on there, it's like all of these friends of mine that I was friends with from back in the day, because it's you know, it had like friends of yours that follow this group or whatever. And it was like, all these friends of mine like followed this group. And I was like, how have I never heard of this group before? So I start going through this group. And the majority of it, they post pretty often, and it's been around for several years. I mean, I went deep into this page. I don't know if you ever do this on Facebook, but I don't very often, but I did on this page, and I went deep. And this Facebook page is literally like picture after picture after picture. They post pictures of like back in the day, and it goes all the way back to like the late 70s, 80s, 90s, things like that, right? Of like bars that were around like in Indianapolis, like the old Talbot Street, the 21 Club, the old Metro, the Varsity Club, the Unicorn Strip Club, things like that. All these bars that we used to go to back in the day. The 501, which was a leather bar. All these places that were like, I mean, Indianapolis was a huge gay hub when I came out. It was like one of the biggest gay cities when I first came out. And it was funny because they were showing these pictures of people like at Pride Day in 91, and I was like, oh my God, like I know these guys. Like, I remember, like, hanging out and going out to bars with these guys and these pictures, and they all have, like, you know, like, jean shorts, like, rolled up with, like, big black belts and white t-shirts. I was like, oh my God, this is so weird looking back at this. And then, it was funny because they had all these clips of this newspaper that was called The Word, and I had totally forgotten about this. So back in the day, they used to have this newspaper here in town. It was called The Word, and it was a monthly newspaper. And it was all about the LGBT community in Indianapolis. And it would have like ads for drag shows or drag pageants, or it would like have like articles written out. And it had like in the back of it, it had like an out and about, like who was seen. It would have like rumors about so-and-so's dating so-and-so. And it was always about like people that were bartenders at places, or people that, were like in the popular crowd and stuff like that. But I can remember like leaving bars when I wasn't so intoxicated to not remember things, and I can remember like getting one of those words when they would come out. There was another magazine too. I think it was called The Mirror, because they kept on referring to it. I don't remember what it was called, but it must have been called The Mirror. But I remember, because it was like a glossy magazine. I can remember, and it was like, I think that one was like Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, Indianapolis, and like Dayton, Ohio. It was like 4 cities. So I wasn't as interested in that one because I didn't know as that many people from those cities. But The Word, I can remember, I would go and then I would get like White Castles on my way home. And I can remember sitting there, drunk as a skunk, eating these White Castles, literally like tearing through this Word, like oh my God, oh, who is performing at Tomorrow's? Tomorrow's was this drag bar. It was the very first gay bar that I ever went to. It was called Tomorrow's. It was on Meridian. And it was a drag bar, a small like dive bar. And I can remember just like reading like every word of this newspaper. And it was so funny because they had like pictures from the newspaper and stuff. And I was like, God, that totally takes me back. And all these people, and there was a lot of people whose pictures that they had, and they'd be like, oh, this person passed in such and such year, and this person passed in this year. I thought, it's so sad that like so much of our community has passed on. And it was interesting because like so many people that I knew from back in the day that I don't even know where they are today. Like, I mean, I used to be like good friends with some of these people, go to their parties and things like that. And they were commenting on the posts. And I was like, this is so crazy to me. Like, I haven't seen some of these people in like, since I got sober. So like 28 years, And I didn't even know that they were still like where they live. I was like looking at their profiles, and they were living in New York City and Chicago and Florida and, Ohio and places like that. And I was like, this is so crazy to me, Colorado and California and all these different places. I was like, this is so crazy, that all of us back in the day, a couple of these guys I saw, I was like, oh my God, I used to have such crushes on these guys and stuff back in the day. And here they are, 30 years later in these pictures. Like, this is so hilarious, right? I think to some extent, that gay community that I came out into in 1990 was kind of my high school at the time. Like, how everybody has this like experience in high school of hanging out with friends. And I mean, I think like I didn't like, with my friends in high school, I had a good experience. Like my girlfriends and stuff like that when we were not at school. And even sometimes at school, I had good times with them, right? It wasn't like it was horrible the whole time. And I had a good time with my girlfriends in high school. I'm very grateful for them. So I did have some of that experience, but not being able to like have crushes on people or go on dates and, get dressed cute and all that kind of stuff, And so like coming out and going out to the gay bars and going to Pride Day events or, volleyball games, which I went to very rarely, but, just like gay days and stuff like that, like, getting ready to go out to the bar and the drag shows and all that kind of stuff, like that was kind of like to some degree like my coming out high school experience, like, and so to look back on all of that is kind of like weirdly kind of like a reunion. It was bizarre. And kind of comforting, too. There was something innocent about looking at all of that and being like, that was kind of an innocent time, Like, I mean, I was drinking a lot and I was doing a lot of drugs and stuff like that. There was nothing innocent about that. But as far as, like, getting dressed cute and, having a crush on somebody and all that, I mean, it was pretty innocent, and we just wanted to hang out with our friends and be in love, She's really taken in her garden today. She's done. She said she's going inside. I can see her. She's walking inside in the garage. What was that snort? So there was a part of me, like, looking at all that kind of, like, I got such a kick out of, like, looking at these pictures, but at the same time, it kind of made me sad, too. Kind of like it's a bygone era, It's over. It's all over. Never to be relived again. I don't often like look I mean, I think on here you guys probably think I do, but like if I'm not filming, it's not like I'm sitting around like thinking about like yesteryear or when I was a kid. And so, I mean, I don't think about that very often. You know, from time to time something happens, I'll think about it, right? So I don't get like that melancholy about getting like older or that sad and thinking about like those days are over and whatever. But I think to some degree, like looking at that, it was a very specific period in time, you know? That even amidst the drugs and alcohol and all that craziness, they were like really good times, you know? And it was funny because like as I was like thinking about leaving the bar and getting that newspaper and whatever, and I could remember walking this parking lot that was like adjacent to this bar, Greg's, our place that we used to go to. There was like 2 parking lots. There was like one cat corner and then there was one like down the street. And I can remember like reaching behind him, you know, putting it in my back seat. Like there were a lot of nights like early on that I wasn't completely intoxicated when I went home. That, you know, I had just had a couple drinks and then went home and whatever with friends or with somebody or alone, you know, that I wasn't like that drinking. There was a point where it like turned, you know. I don't know, it's weird to think about that. It'd be weird to get us all together today, you know, for one big reunion, one last night out. I don't know why this is making me sad. Like one last night out at some big gay bar with like a drag show of all of our favorite drag queens from back in that day, you know, and like all the dance music that we used to listen to back in the day and all that kind of stuff, you know, and one last big hurrah, you know, of all of us that used to go out together back in the day, and it'd be fun, wouldn't it? Anyway, not to end on a sad note, but I'm gonna get off here now, and I'm gonna go and see if my husband is still asleep. I'm sure he is. He and Little Boo Radley were like fast asleep, and yeah, so I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday. I missed you guys yesterday. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these, and I'm not sad. I'm not sad at all. I just, you know, it's funny looking back on that. I was just thinking to myself, you know, yet another way the LGBT community is cheated. It's like we don't get that reunion, you know, but I can go to a high school reunion with people that I was forced to go to school with, but I can't go to a reunion with people that I loved spending time with, you know. And we'll never get to find out what like really happened to a lot of them unless I search them out on Facebook, you know. I'm not sad. It's like when you look back on it, it's just strange, you know. It's like that was my life, and then I got sober, and then people started moving away. They had already started moving away, and it's like the party ended and I didn't even know it. And then when I started going out again several years after I got sober, it was like it was a completely different group, and the whole, you know, vibe had changed, and it was bars had closed down and new bars were open. It was a different era. It was a different time, you know. It's kind of nice to look back on that fondly and remember that I was part of that, you know. I was part of that era. It was a fun time. It was a good time. It wasn't all bad, you know. I think that's one of the things that's important for me to remember. Not to romance the bottle or think about those days or whatever, but to remember that, like, it wasn't all bad, you know. Like, I talk a lot about my drinking and my drugging and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't all bad. There were a lot of really good times, too. There were a lot of really good people. There were a lot of fun nights and fun acquaintances that I made, and, you know, I'm like thinking about my friend Duke that took his life, and oh, we would just get laughing so hard about stuff, you know. And do I say, I'll slap a biscuit on it? Oh, Duke. Anyway, that's a whole other night and a whole bunch of other stories, all the people that I used to know back in the day. Anyway, like I said, I hope that you're having a magically amazing Saturday and a fantastic weekend. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, or your week or weekend if you need to. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much you mean to you. Like I always say, you might be putting a smile on their face. You might be changing their day for the better. You might be cheering them up, and you might be making them feel not so all alone. Also, be kinder to one another. Love one another a little bit more. And most importantly, be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more, because it all starts with you. And if you're kinder and you love yourself, then you'll be kinder and love others as well. And I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.